I don't really know where to buy it. The name's familiar, so I'm just going to close to it.
No. Sit somewhere.
It's spine injury. I know the doctors do it. I didn't operate the X-ray machine. Yeah, you want me to go to? Have you tried it?
So you go to the UVA?
Yeah.
Oh, you went? Wow, great stuff. Who went to JMU? JMU, right?
One more here.
Right there. Yeah. Graduated from there a long time.
So if everyone is ready, I would like to start the seminar. I would start by introducing our guest speaker today, Mr. Cuong Nguyen. If you haven't recognized him, he's also actually from our S&P event last year, and I thank you for that. Besides, Mr. Cuong Nguyen has over 15 years in sales profession, being a sales profession for some of the largest global IT companies, such as the IMD Software, Intuitions, Remedy Corporation, and currently he is the regional sales manager at BMC Software, and he is directly responsible for software sales in the Northeastern US region, from the Atlantic up to New England. Okay.
You got it. Thank you very much, Joe. And I must say that Joe has been extremely professional in how she's interacted with me over the last couple of weeks here to really help organize this seminar. Okay, but and I love seeing that amongst the students and professionals here as well. But I'm here to talk about strengthening your sales skills. Okay, let's go to the next one. Who am I? I think Joe just went through that, but I started off as a technical programmer, right? Then I moved into a team lead project management role, okay? And then that I said that I interacted well with my customers and whatnot. I want to move into sales. So the best way for me to do that was to get into a technical sales role where um, you basically understand what the needs of the customer are and you provide technical details, right, to further a transaction. And then after that, I moved into a direct sales role for the last 15 years. And now I'm managing around 9 sales reps and inside sales reps and technical sales people. So the team is probably around 16 people from Virginia all the way up to Maine. Okay. But that's me. I just wanted to get a good feel for who's in this room and what your background is so we can talk about the interaction between you guys and me and how it can help you guys to really strengthen those sales skills. Okay? Let's just 3 people here.
Does anyone want to
Vihan.
volunteer?
Yeah.
So I majored in information technology and bachelor's from IT and I'm a system administrator. So I work as a contractor for the
Got it. Thank you, Vihan. Anyone else?
Or since I want to point at me. My name's Kang. I study biomedical engineering at CU medicine. I'm currently working for the National Science Center with Dr. Lindbergh, one of the best pain management doctors in the I applied to physician assistant school this year, hoping to further my career in medicine.
Oh, that's great. And I've been to the spine and pain center myself for a herniated disc, but I'm there all the time for an epidural on my back. Anyone else? Yes, really. Painful. Anyone else? One more person.
Josh.
Josh. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I'm Jack. I'm a upcoming senior in Century High.
Okay.
I work at the Love Cafe, which is a restaurant franchising.
Licensed owner, great.
Yeah, and lunchtime, once I hit college, I'm trying to make it in IT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So can you flip over to the next slide here, Ken? So sales skills, whatever you learn in sales, right? It makes you better in your job. As you really hone your abilities around sales and interacting with people, you're going to be more effective in life as well as you effectively communicate what your goals are, okay? So, Ken, you sell yourself. You're going to sell your business, your capabilities around pain management for people like me who are afraid of big long needles, who lived with pain for 5 years now, right? You would be able to sell a patient on, hey, you know what? We're going to take care of you. It's okay. The end result is that you're going to feel better, right? So you're selling that patient through the process. Vihan, you sell IT. You're an IT programmer. You're a sysadmin, but you know what? You're selling the project, the success of that project. You're providing interaction with your customers to help them understand what you're doing and how you're providing a service. IT is providing service to the business. Okay, you're at Cafe Deluxe. You sell your service, right? Your professionalism to your clients. What are you doing there? A busboy right now as a junior? What? As a host, even better. You're selling the restaurant to all of these new people coming into the restaurant to make them feel at ease, to say that this is going to be a great dining experience for you. Okay. So going back to this one, make a first impression. So this is going to be an interactive kind of a discussion. Okay. Making a first impression. That's the first thing in any interaction that you have with other people. Is that first impression. You got the guy over here, the used car salesman. Yeah, right. Do you trust that look? Do you trust that person who's kind of overboard in terms of how he's interacting with that client, right? And then you've got this guy over here who's a different kind of a salesman. He's a little bit more polished, a little bit more refined, and he's reaching out and really connecting with that customer there with this transaction, right? And that transaction is them coming into a car dealer to buy a car. 7 seconds, right, is typically that first impression and how they're going to think about you for the next forever, right? So you've got 7 seconds to really articulate who you are, to present yourself well to others as well, okay? You guys all have a success t-shirts here, and you're representing this organization, and it's always about you. Every interaction that you have, you're selling yourself, you're selling a success, okay? First impressions, be articulate. And when you sell, Bao here sells companies, he sells investors. He's out there because he was here, 2 months ago, right? He's trying to get people to bring their money to invest in Vietnamese companies, right? So what does he want to do? He needs to understand that it's all about helping the customer, right? To increase their sales, to increase the money that they put into organization and to provide some return on investment, right? So he needs to know that, hey, if Bao's just there to say, hey, I'm just going to take your money, you're going to have this, whatever, but he needs to understand what their desires are. So when he makes them successful, of course, he's going to be successful in his business, right? The harder you try to sell anybody on any product or anything, the less likely it's going to really happen, right? So Bao really needs to understand that customer, understand what drives them, what their goals are to really craft a solution for that customer, okay? And it's really about helping that customer achieve a goal that they have, okay? So one thing we've discovered with certainty, and this is Jack Welch, one of the most successful executives out there. One thing we've discovered with certainty is that anything we do that makes the customers more successful inevitably results in financial return for us. It's all about the success of your customer. And if you make them successful, you yourself will become successful with them. Okay? Next one. It's all about the customer, okay? So here it's really, they want a solution that meets their needs. Whether that solution be Bao has a fitness business, right? He needs to know where they are and where they want to go. Ann or Zale here is basically selling a new design for a facility, and that facility is a courtroom. So she needs to understand what the judges, what those people need in terms of the space that they work in, the atrium when they come, or when not users, but us people, citizens, come into all about understanding your customer, knowing what they want, and therefore you can adapt your strategy to meet their needs. Okay, it's all about understanding their motivations, their needs, their desires, their preferences, where they have been and where they want to go. Right? It's really about truly diving deep, spending that time with them to really understand where they want to go. Beyond, for you to develop or program anything, you need to know what the desire of that customer is, right? What the bells and whistles are of that application, and then you start to build that into your program. Okay, so it's all about the customer. And here you've got the knowing your customer needs. I know it's hard to see here, but how the customer explained it to you. Okay? And then how the project leader understood it is a different view of it. How the analyst designed it, right? You've got a tree without anything in the middle, two supports over there. How the programmer wrote it, which is might be different from what the customer actually told you. How the business consultant described it. How the project was documented right over here, right? What operations installed out into the systems, how the customer was billed, right, is a big roller coaster, how it was supported, and then right here, this was exactly what the customer needed. No one really listened enough to provide what the customer was saying that you needed today and tomorrow. Okay? It's all about listening. Next one. Ask great questions. You have to ask great questions. You always can't just take an answer and just accept it as is. You need to dive into what is driving that answer. Okay, so it's always why. Three levels of why. Why do you want to invest in this business? If they give you an answer, then you know what? You need to dive deeper. Always getting to the core of why they need that, why they want it, how is it going to make them more successful, how is it going to make the project finish on time, okay? All of those things is always about diving deeper into all of the questions. Are you asking questions to help them get what they want in the way they feel good about, or are you getting what, is it to help you get what you want in a way that you feel good about, right? It's not about you. Selling is about them. It's about the customer success, okay? And right here, it's always about asking them to imagine the future, to imagine what nirvana is, to imagine what the perfect state would be, and that helps you to understand where they want to go beyond just what they're telling you, okay? Because there's always something more than what they can share in 5 minutes. You come back, you ask more, you come back, you ask more and more and more and more. Always diving deeper. And it's really about listening, okay? What happens when you have a stoplight and it's turning yellow? What do you guys do in your car?
Speed up.
Speed up, right? That happens in meetings all the time. When a customer says something, you don't really listen to it, you just speed up, right? But when they say something that might be objective or whatever, slow down, ask more questions, and then slowly speed up, okay? Always do that. Don't just rush through things. Don't just rush through selling your solution without understanding what the customer really is telling you. Okay? So it's all about big ears there. Listen, Dumbo ears. This one is how real having a positive attitude is something that forget that, every successful salesperson has is a positive attitude, right? Negative, it will never happen, right? A lot of people, when you're younger or even when you're older, people with negative attitudes will, it's always the glass is half full, right? Or half empty. So going back to that analogy, where are you in your positive outlook? Your project positivity to people around you. Every day you are selling yourself. Okay, whether it be at school, whether it be at work, what in any situation, you're selling you. You're selling your brand. You are the brand, okay? So you need to always be positive, realistic. It could happen. Is positive, it will happen. When you have a positive attitude and you're always going to strive to making it happen, yes, sometimes you're always looking for because you have a positive outlook. When you have a positive outlook, people want to be around you, okay? Customer, when I have a positive outlook on where I can take them, they're going to come along with me, okay? They really are. So next one, know your stuff. I know Vihan, it's once again it goes back to knowing your customer, okay? It's what your customer wants. If customers don't perceive that they're getting the solution that meets their needs, they can choose. The worst thing is to choose to do nothing, okay? I can choose if Bao is talking to me about fitness. I can see all these beautiful pictures and what he can do for me, but you know what? I can choose to do nothing, and I've actually done nothing, okay? And we'll talk about how he hasn't followed through or things like that. And it's really about if you have an opportunity, and in my case, it now has me captive, okay? I have paid money to actually, what's that last event there? When you had all of those, the other one, the next one. YouthCon, yes. When you had not the donations, but auctions, yes, okay. And I bought that service from Bao, okay. And it's really about, hey, you did this. Thank you for investing in me. And it's really taking it the next step, because you know what? I can actually have 50 men who are in line after he's been successful with me. Okay, it's all about, later on we're going to talk about follow through, but know your products, know the benefits of your products as well. Okay, know your competition, because I can go to the other spine thing down in DC and not come to your pain and spine store or practice, okay? And it's really about knowing who all the competition is out there as well. If I sell a product, I need to know who my competitors are, because they're going to be in there talking to the same customer, okay? Who are the other brands of cars? I need to know that my Volvo, you need to know that the Volvo is better than the Mercedes and better than the BMW for all of these different reasons. And even before that, to sell that car, you need to know what that customer wants. Do they need security in the car? Do they need, so it's all about understanding the requirements of the customer, and then obviously you need to know your stuff, okay? And then in that case, you need to know all of the other cars that are out there to be really an effective salesperson in a car dealership. Next one, gotta build trust. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. There are sales reps who've been successful and they're complete punks, okay? That's because they know they have to work harder sometimes, okay? And when you are selling a charade, you're always having to keep up the charade. But if you are genuine, customers will feel it, they'll see it, that you're not just selling them, but that you are a partner in this journey with them. Okay? You get that? You build trust on purpose too. Earning trust is a skill that you can learn and improve. It needs not to be left to luck, circumstance, or hope, okay? The moment there is suspicion about a person's motives, everything he does becomes completely tainted, and that's confounded. Okay? No matter what you do, when you're interacting with people, they will trust you just as you are selling a product. When they trust you, they will buy from you. A lot of times, it isn't about me selling a product. I can sell multi-million-dollar products, okay, that might be less superior than my competitor's product, but because they trusted me. They trusted that I could bring in the right team to implement it. They knew that we would be in the trenches with them. I'm always providing that trust and that customer service back to my customers. And that's why sometimes, even if it is an inferior product, you can sell them because they trust you. They're buying you, the brand of Behind. Okay? Next one. Val kind of laughed at me earlier saying, oh, you got slide decks. Yes, I have slides here, okay? But an effective presentation is when you are up in front of a group of people like this. It's all about interacting. It's all about being an amazing storyteller. Steve Jobs started Apple, did all of that. If you guys go back and see his clips, he is the best presenter that's out there, okay? He's amazing. You can talk for 2 hours, and what's he doing? He's bringing you into his story, okay? And it's all about pictures. It's using a whiteboard board. It's using visuals. It's bringing life stories into that situation, okay? And you need to be an amazing storyteller. That is the first and foremost thing around effective presentations. Remember, it's not about you, not about the product, as much as it is engaging your audience, engaging the customer. Okay? Be conversational. There's a great book called Presentation Zen there that by Gar Reynolds. Great book talking about just Presentation Zen, taking it to the next level instead of slides, instead of all of these handouts, really talking about a story. Okay, next one. And this is one where I use pictures, right? Let's talk about this picture right here. The man looking out the window. What do you see there?
Clouds.
Clouds?
Blue sky, right there.
Horizon.
Is the man someone important potentially?
Probably looks like a high rise.
Looks like a high rise. He's looking what? In the back, or is he looking to the future?
Future.
He's looking on the horizon, right? What's he thinking? He is definitely, it's a nice conference room or a nice office there, but he's always thinking ahead. And as a salesperson, I'm having to help him think ahead. Where can I, in my solutions, help him to move forward? Because that's the kind of attitude that he has. The little kid right here, what's that?
Determination.
Determination, absolutely. You put that up there as an opening slide, right? They get it, they laugh because they see a little baby, but he's determined, okay? And there could be a long story about that. Next little one right there with the tennis player. Maria. So what is that? What do you see?
Hard work for like action. Fierce.
Fears, but it could also be follow through, right? On that serve, it's following through. What's the one over there? This one. There's a huge, lots of different stories that you can tell there, right? Is that risk worth it, right? Risk mitigation, all of those things, riding a wave. even in the midst of danger, right? So there's a lot of stories that you can talk about that one there. This one could be peace and tranquility, right? And then you can talk about a story there. This one would be what? Perseverance, getting to the top of that cliff where they're at one with nature and he's looking up at the sky, right? And then you got this one here. This is me right here, but that could be pretty impactful, okay? When you show somebody like, when's the last time you kind of looked down there? And then the guy might be going in the bathroom and looking down. What? He's feeling inadequate because I'm a little out of shape right now, okay? So this picture, and then I don't know about that, but who's watching World Cup right now? Oh,
they're done.
out, okay? But Ronaldo, I've seen him in women's bathrooms, a whole poster of him, okay? And it provides a lot of excitement for women and for men here because I want to look like this guy. Man, he looks successful. He just scored. And you know what? It's all about the story. You can talk about what did he do? Why is he taking off that shirt? That look of dominance that's in his face as well, okay? And it's not just because he's ripped there as well. So what's this one in here? The story can be told about what? But if you guys may be not too young. Standing up to authority, talking about courage. That's the Tiananmen Square right there. You got the tanks coming down. You have the one protester standing in defiance as well, right? You can talk about courage to your customer. You can talk about defiance. Whatever that thing that you're selling to the customer that day, it's about painting a picture. This one's about what? Communication, right? In the midst of sitting on a railroad track, who knows, a train could be coming, but they're engaged at the time. They're communicating. And this one could be what? Nice picture. That could be endurance, right? All around you it's snowing, but this thing is there and it's strong and it's still got the color in its leaves. We talk about a story there as well. It's all about storytelling. Bao laughed at me earlier with the slides, but this is where I want to be with you guys. When you're selling, you're selling a story. You're engaging the customer into your story. Okay, next one. Persistence and follow-up. I was talking about that earlier. Follow-up and persistence is really constantly being at them, asking them how can I make this program better for you? How can I make the system faster, better performing? What about the response time? Have I done that? Have I done that? You're always in your customer's face to really, elicit information from them, okay? And then following up as well. You do not ever be discouraged because sales is not just the initial meeting, but it's the follow-up. It's the follow-up where they can hang up on you the first time. They can hang up on you the second time, third time, fourth time, but you know what? Fifth time, I'm like, oh man, that little message, that little two-liner that he emailed me this time, actually, I like his persistence. I like the fact that this tagline actually is compelling. Let me give him a call back, okay? So it's always about following up, being persistent, sending a personalized letter or a card to a customer, okay? That's huge. You guys are all texting. You're all doing emailing. All of those things are great follow-up, but a personal touch is a handwritten note to say thank you. That takes effort these days. I'm just seeing a lot of times now, we're so used to this instant access. You send out a text, you send out an email to say thank you so much, or you don't even do that, okay? But sending out a personalized thank you note or card is so impactful. That's great follow-up, okay? Next one. Some stats to keep in mind here, okay? 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. 25% 5% of salespeople make a second contact and stop and keep on going. You can see that less and less salespeople actually do that follow-up, are persistent, right? 2% of sales are made on the first contact, 5% of sales on the second, 10% made on the fourth. 80% of all sales transactions are done on the fifth or through the 12th contacts. So it goes back to that follow-up. It goes back to that perseverance and persistence. Next one. And this is probably the last one before we just get into questions here and how we can better your sales capabilities. When you ask for referrals every single time, even if it goes bad, they don't want your software, they don't want your solution. Hey, you know what? I'm providing amazing customer service. You know, this transaction has been fruitful for that customer and for me. They're going to remember that, and you know what? It's all right to ask. Even though you're not going to buy this car from me, do you have others that you can recommend? They're going to do so because that Honda may not have been the right car for that person, but because that customer liked that interaction with you, they might just introduce 3 other friends to you because the Honda might be better suited for them, okay? And it's all about that interaction that you're having with your customer. Practice, 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 be persistent, all of that. Get connected, please. I know you're young. Some of you are in high school. Some of you are in college. Some of you are out of college. Social media is huge. I know Joe went up to my LinkedIn site, right, and pulled up some information. LinkedIn, it's a great way for me to recruit, and it's a great way for others to recruit me as well. On a daily basis, I'm getting offers to go elsewhere, okay, but I'm happy where I'm at. And it's great because social media is just amazing. You guys live in this always connected world now. Use it, okay? Twitter, same thing. You guys know how to get connected through social media, but other things, getting out of your shell, doing networking events, okay? Being involved with different organizations at college to expand your horizon, because there are friends of mine in college or whatever that I can connect with 15 years later because I found out that they're doing this kind of a business or they are a key executive at a certain company. You know what? That relationship that I built 15 years ago, I can call back on it. And they will gladly bring me in because of that past and the connection that we had, right? But networking events, all of that stuff, trade organizations, going out to the different pain management kinds of networking, I guess, events, organizations out there, a great way for you to expand your horizons, right, with other like-minded people. And then they could actually make recommendations for school, for whatever. And if you connect with a doctor or something like that, they would be able to open up doors for you elsewhere and other things in life as well. And it's all about being not afraid to really connect with like-minded people or even non-like-minded people. Okay? So, I'm done. Wasn't about me, but so what do you guys think? Our sales skills, yes, you can be effective in work, but you are selling your brand. Every day you're selling your brand. Here, you're selling AA Success. Every dinner function that you guys go to, you're sitting there in a crowd or whatever it is, you could sell to other organizations. You can sell the benefits of AA Success to a whole bunch of other students at high schools and things like that, right? So you're selling all of the time. And it's through effective communication. Yes?
Thank you for this very provocative presentation, which talks about not only selling things, but selling ourselves. So what strategies would you recommend for those of us who are potentially selling ourselves How do you apply the techniques of somebody, if you're dealing with somebody who doesn't want or doesn't believe they want or need what you're selling? What strategies would you recommend for trying to overcome that particular barrier? Because that's often a common sort of initial reaction that many of us have. I don't need that. If I need something, I'll go. I know where to go to get it. So I'm dealing with this guy or this woman, and they're trying to tell me something I don't think I really need. But the essence of sales is trying to overcome that.
To overcome objections.
What are your strategies?
You know what? And that's a great question, and it's all about understanding that situation, what the other party is thinking, right? What got them to that point? Because I manage a group of people, right? They're all type A personalities. They're all very successful. But when I am dealing with selling an individual on this, I always have to sell the benefits of what this is. What is the outcome of this? Is you're going to be more successful. You're going to whatever, right? But in doing so, I need to understand, is this something that I did wrong to that person? Or was there a pattern or something that happened in the past to get them to this thinking that this thing that I'm trying to sell them on, why aren't they accepting it? And it's really about understanding not just the situation, but the past, and diving into all of the nuances of who they are, what they want, what bad things that have happened, what good things that have happened, for them to formulate this kind of a behavior, right? And that's all about change management as well, changing behavior and things like that. So I really think that in sales, in life, in work, it's all about understanding the customer or the situation, and then providing the benefits of a positive outcome. Okay? So this is something that I do all the time, is when I help large, and I'm dealing with Fortune 10, Fortune 50, Fortune whatever companies, right? And I'm asking for sometimes 20, 30, $50 million from a company, right? And it isn't about, oh man, my software is going to do this for you. You believe me? No. It's about me coming into the organization, providing a service where I've got my folks interviewing all of the key stakeholders throughout the organization, okay? So that we can understand what the current state of that business is. Then I share with them what are the negative consequences of what you're doing today. The manual processes, the multiple systems, the 100 FTEs or what do you call them, staff. All of these inefficiencies, right? So I understand where they are. I document that. I help to talk to the low-level people, the mid-level managers, the executives. You get different views of the same problem, okay? You document it. You talk about the negative consequences of current state. Then I ask, what's your desired state for whatever? Okay, what's your desired state for automation? You don't want to consolidate. You want to shift FTEs from this function to this function, okay? So what is the desired state? Then I help to build a positive outcome. Here are the outcomes of your desired state. And then I say, as part of these outcomes, here's how my solution can help you get to this desired state. And then I need to actually help them build a business case to show them return on investment and all of that stuff that my solution can help them with, okay? And that's a framework that I use with most all of my businesses and all of my sales transactions. And it's really about understanding that business, where they are, where they can go. I know I didn't answer the question simply, but it is really about understanding that entire situation, right? And then
I might go that.
Okay, but don't take anything from me here. There are, you know what, I can follow up with Zale here and provide some great books, right? Because just like you have to learn medicine, you're gonna read the books and whatever not on the body, the anatomy, everything. There are books that are out there, whether it be sales or successful people, whatever. I would highly suggest that you read books about sales, about um, overcoming objections. There are some great books out there from great authors, and I used to hate reading before when I was in high school, but as I got into college, it got better, and then after college, the betterment of me would be done through hearing about the stories of very successful people, okay, and what they did in their lives, what they did with that company and that organization. So I can provide some follow-up books as well on great reads to help you with building your sales skills. Yes.
I have to say that the timing of this seminar is perfect because next weekend is when we have the open house here. And this is our ambassadors. We're gonna try to sell ourselves a success to new recruitment, possible new recruitment. So I hope that you guys took some of what Cuong said today and really focus on what we can provide students when they come here. Talk about the benefits of AA success and try to find out what, deep dive into their situation and really, our organization is focusing on helping youth development, and that's what we have to sell it on.
And go ahead, Beyond.
I had a follow-up question to when you were kind of building on what you were talking about as far as kind of like strategies and methods to be able to sell to a company that is $2 million software. So in those situations, usually there's a really strong structure built. You can invite managers and directors to talk with them, build your data. But for next week, since we're working with mainly just parents, like how do we sell to them that their students should consider improving?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's your personal experience. It's the personal gain that you got from AA success that you want to share with the parents. Where were you 5 years ago? I'm sorry. How long have you been with AA success? Where were you 3 years ago? How has your life been transformed by AA success? And you need to have, I forgot to point it out in my framework, is you talk about desired state, you talk about the positive outcomes, but you need to have proof points. A proof point to me is another company in the same industry that has gotten these returns by my software. In your case, it is, I'm just like you. 3 years ago, here's where my life was, and here's where it is today. That is a proof point that you can share with any one of those students, and even more so, the parents are going to say, then I want them to be here, because look at you. Okay? 3 years ago, who would have thunk that I'm communicating with professionals right now on a seminar, and here's my follow-up. Here's what I learned to blah, blah, blah. It's your personal experience that you want to share. Behind you got, does that make sense? It's the personal benefit that you gain from AA success. Brochures are great. All of that's great. Talking pie in the sky here. It's the personal benefit that you can share with everybody else that's going to be the most impactful.
Would it be similarly when we're talking with parents? I feel like that's our real target audience that we need to convince.
Let me give an example.
Yes.
A couple of weeks ago, we went to a VN Math event, and I was given the opportunity to speak to a parent. And I didn't know the parent at all or the family situation. And I told them about A success. They had no idea. And then the parent shared with me some issues that she had with location, driving here, and other things with not knowing the group. And I listed, all the benefits, and I put her children in specific categories. I asked them, what do they like to do? What are their career ambitions? What do they struggle with? And from there, I was able to pinpoint and focus on those strengths that we have, and also use our own, let's say, personal testimonies of our group to share that with her. So she was sold on that.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's the only way you really can relate to them in their own terms, let's say. Because at the end of the day, they are parents, and they're taking the time out to take their children here. So we have to put it in a way where we're selling this opportunity to them, and that's a great place for them to learn, basically, their children.
Before, after.
Yeah.
And you are the story of why that parent wants to bring their children here now. Because of you sharing with them your personalized experience. Okay? You sold them you. You sold them what AA Success did for you. And that's what you need to do next week. That personal story that's going to connect with the parent or that student. The parent's going to want to know that my son or daughter, when they come here, are they going to have these aspirations? They're going to all want to go to college because everyone here is like-minded. Are they, and they're going to become service-oriented. They're going to become better family children, whatever. They're going to have an amazing, amazing network of friends who are there to help each other out at all costs, right? It's this right here that you're selling. It's individual plus the collective benefit of what you guys are. You guys are here on a Saturday. You're here on a Saturday. I just saw two students in the other room over there, another over here, coaching session over here. Most other kids are watching TV right now, doing nothing. You guys have a purpose, and that purpose-driven life is what every parent would want for their child. That's what you're selling as well. Okay? Me sitting in front of the TV right now with a remote control, having whatever, there's no purpose there. You guys have purpose. You're here on a Saturday, investing your personal time, and you're driven by what? By ambition, by who knows. Fill in the blanks. Okay? Any other questions? Yes, John.
Do you think whether a person is an introvert or extrovert would influence how successful of a salesperson she or he is?
I know some extra, but in sales, they're all going to be, a lot of them are type A, but then I know other salesmen and women who make $500,000-$600,000 a year, being completely introverted, but because they sit with the customer and the customer trusts them, they're not afraid to have one-on-one. Okay? They're not afraid of that because you're getting down to a level where you're both talking the same language. They're selling you on something, a solution that they believe in. If you believe in it, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, it doesn't matter. You're helping a customer get from A to B. Okay? And I've seen sales reps that they're not introvert, they're right in the middle, okay? Because they can still, they're not afraid to communicate, but they're not as type A as a who is type A, okay? Who can be in front of a crowd of hundreds and command that crowd, okay? Others might not like to command a crowd that big. They can't do it, but a one-on-one, I can sell one-on-one, no problem. Okay? And it's knowing, it's most importantly the confidence. Okay? When you communicate and you're confident about what you're saying, you can go anywhere in that conversation.
I've been majoring in business marketing,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a lot of, you're too quiet for majoring in that from my parents and my relatives. I don't know if, Howard, who's also majoring in marketing, get the same problem, but I get that a lot.
You're young. You're young right now. You're still forming. For anyone to say that to you right now, they're doing you a disservice, okay? Yes, you might be shy, you might, but you know what? You're not shy when you communicated to me, were you? You're not shy when you told me, I need you to be here at 10:30. You're not shy when, hey, I need your picture, I need this, I need this, I need this. Were you shy? You were doing your job. And you were very effective at communicating what you needed to communicate to me. That's not an introvert right there. So you may have boxed yourself into this brand, but you have an ability to get out of that box to know what your full potential is, okay? Don't think of yourself as an introvert that can't do marketing. You're a little bit reserved now in giving coaching, given all of these things that people, your interactions, your business, your workplace, you're going to blossom. Let's talk 5 years from now. Okay? Because today you might, tomorrow you might be a completely different person. And it's all about what situations, what people, what environments you place yourself into to grow. Okay? Question?
I just want to piggyback on one of your points that you mentioned on practice.
Mm-hmm.
I think another thing, I don't think you spoke about it very much, or just very likely, was how you really want to underestimate the person that you're speaking with. A lot of times that person, may not be the decision maker. So we never know if that person may open another door for you. So like, let's say Josh, if somebody comes in and they're just dressed in slacks and nothing impressive, you're like, oh, here's your seat. Maybe you can strike up a conversation with them. And they're like, oh, you like to study this, or I can create opportunity for you. Maybe there's an internship opportunity for you there in the future. And what I learned too as well is that a lot of times students don't realize that every single day that you're in school, you're going through a job interview process. Your grades are your barometer of where you should go in college. So if you're not reevaluating where you are with grades, organizations, and student service learning hours, it's going to be really hard for you to go out there and land, let's say, your first job, or even that dream college that you want to go to. So at the end of the day, you have to sit down and look at yourself and think about where you want to go. At the same time, if somebody calls you in and says, okay, we're considering you right now for a job or for a university, why should we choose you? And if you can't answer that in less than 2 minutes and you can't sell yourself, you're gone. Like my girlfriend, she had an opportunity to land an internship. And she said, oh, I'm not going to practice. I think I'm good. I know myself. I said, no, you have to rehearse, all these questions. You don't even think about it. And I gave her literally 50 questions. She didn't even, maybe she knew 25. But I said, you're going to the medical field. You don't know how many doctors are out there. They specialize in medical. But think about it. What happens if you want to sell your own practice, or you want to sell yourself? You got to think about that. Even artists, or other types of professionals. You got to think. Every single day is you got to sell yourself, and you got to be ready, just in case if somebody tells you, okay, why should I choose you, and how are you going to overcome their objection? So thank you.
Thank you for that. Any others? No, seriously, this is what we need to have is communication.
Well, actually, go ahead. On a sales cycle now, for your field of work, where have you seen the trends go? I mean, before, let's say cold calling, door knocking was very common. Now everything's in the cloud and IT. How do you usually, find leads? Are you in organizations?
Lots of different ways. There are lots of different tools, but now with these things, I need to have something compelling in just the first 2 lines of that email for that executive to say, oh, okay, oh, that sounds interesting. If not, then it's a delete, okay? And it's really about having a targeted message to that client or that prospect, okay? Because things are different now. And it's using social media as well, LinkedIn. Before I go into any meeting, I link in, I look at the executive. Hey, oh shoot, you know what? He was actually friends or linked with my competitor. And then then that changes my entire pitch, because I know my competitors already have been in there. So now I need to come in with a different message, okay? So yes, social media is great for prepping you with every meeting that you're going to have. I don't Facebook, but not much. Facebook knowing who they are, how they interact. I hate to have pictures of people in compromising situations on Facebook, okay? Think about that. When you're applying sometimes for a job or going to a college or doing whatever, sometimes they're gonna pull up your Facebook and they're gonna say, oh man, is this the kind of person that we want? They were just having a picture of them doing marijuana, I don't know, okay? Or at a crazy party where everyone's crazy. Know that everything that you put out there, they're going to use it to judge you. It can be used to judge you. So be careful, please. Please. Be smart about how you're connecting and what you're communicating to others out there. Cam?
Oh, I just wanted
You
to
lost
say
your
that
thought.
I find resemblance in your framework that you use when you analyze your customer's business. You look at the state of where they are, and you talk to them about the state of where they could be. It's when I first started out in ASUS, they told us they gave an assignment to analyze Steve Jobs' presentation of the first iPhone. And I think that was about 50 or 60 minutes long, and I watched the whole thing on YouTube. There was he told us to look at the video of a lady who analyzed that presentation. It was on the TED Talk. She found that his presentation also, analyzed like the smartphones that are out there right now with the little buttons and the
Blackberries,
and boom, he breaks out the iPhone. Look what this could do, swiping and phone messages and voicemail and all that. So it's used to that similar framework of, okay, this is where you are now. This is how inconvenient it is. Boom, look at how better, how much more efficient you can be at your business or daily life by using the iPhone. So,
And I use that a lot of times in my sales pitches today, is how they're doing it outside of work and how the same technology, you guys, consumers, you young people, need to have the same capability when you come to work, and you just don't have it. Okay, so I use that when I talk to executives all the time because I'm dealing with 40, 50, 60-year-old guys who don't know what the generation, what do you guys, I don't even know what you are, generation XYZ, whatever it is, YZ, they just know that you got to do things different. And when I say, this is what they're used to. They're used to twittering and all these different things. This is what they want when they come into the workspace. Because if not, they're going to be bored, they're going to leave. You need to keep up with where they are. The new workers coming into the workforce. And sometimes I sit there and these guys are making $20 million. And I'm sitting there telling them this, okay? Not because I'm smart, it's because I'm engaging with the customer. Okay? It's all about engagement. Anything else? Then we are done. Thank you.
We can pick one about we actually finished on time.
Good.
And,
Woo-hoo.
before we end, I just want to say that this is the first time we're going to use the online survey that I sent, that I attached in an email to everyone yesterday, but I can also send it again. Okay? So our goal is 100% participation. We see that. And there's refreshing outside, and there's always networking time afterwards. If you want to ask me something.
And please, I think that you guys have my email address or something like that. I'm going to follow up with some books and then if you have any questions, just feel free to email me, please. Okay? Anytime. Thank you for your participation.
I asked you